And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Okay, up first again, the hazardous weather graphic. A lot quieter conditions now for the state. Still have some winter weather advisories going there, St. Lawrence Island, portions of the Seward Peninsula, as well as around Kotzebue, northwest coast, and the central western Arctic coast. Winter weather advisories tonight into tomorrow. And cold weather advisories out here for the Copper River Basin tonight, southern Kenai Peninsula, and quite a few areas here of the southeast coast. And from there, looking at satellite imagery, cold low pressure sliding off to the southeast, pulling the snow showers with it here. Still some clouds over the southern panhandle, but colder, drier conditions moving into the northern areas with gusty northeast winds. And cold air now over on the east side today as opposed to the west central interior of yesterday from the Arctic coast north slope right on down into the Copper River Basin. And we had a band of high-level clouds right through here that moved through, kind of some thick cirrus coming across south central Alaska and actually extending back up here where it becomes a little bit more active, but not that much. Areas of snow with that as a push northeastward, light snow. And then this next system here starting to or pushing moisture and gusty winds, warm south winds now along that front there, all the way up, pushing up towards St. Lawrence Island. Another batch of clouds gathering there over the far western Aleutians. The main low center back here way out there to the west. And on the chart today, we have a weak warm front here spreading some light snow from Bristol Bay, now ending along the southwest coast. Narrow band actually, lifting northward there, some light snow lifting in toward the Bering Strait, St. Lawrence Island, and some of that possibly here into northeast Bristol Bay, but again, very light amounts. And clear and cold here over the eastern half of the state. Strong Arctic high pressure shifting over almost on top of Dawson this afternoon. Clear cold conditions, Arctic coast right into the Gulf of Alaska. And gusty winds, that gradient pretty tight here with the building high over the Yukon and this low still close enough and about 1,000 millibars. So you got 42 millibars of gradient mostly across the northern panhandle there. And that's going to help drive those drive the cold air southward, continue bringing it southward and even into the southern areas tonight and probably through the weekend. Forecast for tonight, you can see clear, cold, and windy for the southeast coast. Still a little breezy, outflow areas, Copper River Delta, maybe channeled areas of Copper River Basin, but lightening up on the winds here, especially south central Alaska, light winds Kodiak Island. Much of southern and interior Alaska, we've got some clouds and areas of light snow. Clouds likely, areas of light snow possible coming into the Tanana Valley. A little bit more than just a chance, probably some light snow likely with this weak warm front up here. Mostly the upslope areas, southern Seward Peninsula, and the southern slopes of the western Brooks Range into the Kobuk Valley, Kotzebue, up the northwest coast, Noatak Valley, and maybe a little bit of light stuff there for the Arctic coast and north slope, and that's about it. Just mild southerly winds, pretty dry here for the Bering Sea. Some light rain here along that front down to Adak and Atka again for the day on Saturday. Much stronger low now developed, shows up here. Actually, this low kind of just moves off. This one deepens and pulls northeastward. And so pretty good frontal boundary now with gale force winds here for the western into the central Aleutians. Even have gale force winds in the forecast for the eastern Aleutians with a chance of rain there, rain likely for Adak and Atka. Otherwise, mild winds continue to push that warm front. Kind of hangs up there in the Bering Strait, not very strong on the eastern edge there, but could be enough moisture for some light precipitation in the shaded areas here. Same thing here for the northwest part of the state. A weak trough and maybe some skiffs of snow, peppering a light snow there for the north slope and the Arctic coast. And there's still a chance of some light snow for the Tanana Valley areas. And clear, light winds, mostly clear. Could be some variable mid and high level clouds again coming across south central Alaska. But southeast coast, cold and windy tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday for the Panhandle. Maybe winds lightening up a little bit here, especially over the southern areas, but I know there's still gale warnings out for Sunday for Lynn Canal, southern, northern inside waters. I believe even Dixon Entrance at high center up to 1,053 millibars and ridging into the interior. Clear skies, very quiet day coming up Sunday here from the Arctic coast right on into the Gulf of Alaska, even out toward the west coast. Pick up a southerly breeze or southeast breeze here. It'd be a mild one. along the west coast areas, but precipitation free. Got to get out here along this frontal boundary to find any rain for the eastern Aleutians into the Alaska Peninsula. Some of that might clip some mixed precipitation. If it does, it'll be very light for St. Lawrence Island and windy with some rain and snow showers pushing into the western Aleutians, but it looks dry for Adak and Atka. And for the lows tonight, minus 30s for the Copper River Basin. Otherwise, minus 5 to 15 below, maybe 20 below South Central Alaska. In the 20s for Bristol Bay, Kodiak Island. And 0 to 10 for the northern panhandle here, 10 to 15, say Wrangell, Petersburg to Port Alexander, Sitka. And in mid to upper teens for Prince of Wales Island over toward Misty Fjords. And then highs tomorrow, lower 20s there for the southern southeast coast. And up toward Haines, Skagway, right around 0, call it 13 for Juneau, 20 for Yakutat, minus 14 Gulkana. In the teens, south central Alaska, but 20s down toward the coast here, mid 30s for Kodiak Island, kind of recovering there temperature wise. And upper 20s, lower 30s there for Bristol Bay. And then for lows Sunday morning, still well below 0 in the Copper River Basin, but now 5 below to 10 above South Central Alaska. And upper 20s Kodiak Island, lower 20s Bristol Bay. And it looks like here Western Alaska Range, Eastern Kuskokwim Valley, 5 to 15, followed by highs still below 0 in the Copper River Basin, but some areas rising above 0 here to the east and to the west. 15 to 20, South Central Alaska, near 30 for Homer, upper 20s, lower 30s for Bristol Bay, and still cold for the Panhandle. Up to the north tonight, coldest again now on the east side, 35 to 50 below possibly, 53 below at Arctic Village. Was one of the was the coldest spot I could find, 51 below at Bettles. And that could be the end of the 50 below readings for this winter season. If it doesn't happen again tonight, then it probably won't happen for quite some time beyond tonight. Anyway, mid minus 40s on the east side and 5 below to 5 above to the west. Highs 30 to 35 for the Seward Peninsula tomorrow. Same thing for St. Lawrence Island down toward the Yukon Delta coast. And above 0 for the Arctic coast, staying below 0 for the Yukon Flats into the Koyukuk Valley, as well as the Tanana Valley. And then the lows, milder, still 15 to 30 below in those cold areas on the east side, and a little below 0 here, 5 to 15 below in the central interior. Brooks Range, warmer air coming in, so above 0 there. And anywhere from 10 above to 5 or 15 below for the Arctic coast. Mild again for the high Sunday afternoon for the Seward Peninsula, Yukon Delta. And actually warming up on the lee side of the Brooks Range here, it looks like. And for the teens for the Arctic coast, single numbers in the central interior. Out to the southwest along the coast tomorrow, 30s for the Pribilofs, upper 30s to near 40 for the Aleutians, lower 40s for the Saturday afternoon highs for the Aleutians. And back down into the upper 30s to lower 40s, not much of a day to night temperature change out there, very little. And about the same Sunday afternoon, highs mostly in the 30s, 40 to 42 for the eastern Aleutians and lower 30s for the southwest coast.